they do it, you know, Wichita does it, they get the tax revenue, and we
don't.
lose out on that. And
the other piece of this was if you build that expressway, that creates a barrier that separates. We basically end up having, you have East Goddard, which is east of the expressway, you've got North Goddard, north of the highway, and South Goddard, south of the highway, but anything west of that expressway is at the standards that we've set. The things that are east of that expressway are just gonna blend in with Wichita. I mean, it's always interesting to ask high school kids whether Eisenhower School is in Goddard or in Wichita. Most people think that's Goddard.
it's not.
But that, so there's that expressway creates the natural barrier.
I still just want to be very careful, I think.
And the idea is then, okay, we're willing, because Wichita's already jumped across to 167th Street. It's a competitive thing to a degree.
They're gonna be there whether we let them.
I would hesitate on that.
I mean, if I wanna build something and you tell me no, then I'm gonna go to Wichita and then get them to say yes, cause their standards aren't gonna be necessarily.
Think about the duplexes south of Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks those are in Goddard.
Yeah, we should.
And they get attributed to us, so we get the blowback from them, and we get into the tax revenue. We drive by those every day in Cypress Glen,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like a punch in the stomach that those could be in Goddard.
I just,
I will say real fast too, Craig and Ryan will probably have to talk about specific zoning classification for that, because if you adopt a specific zoning classification for that area, it's almost going to be predetermined what the zoning is going to be. And that's something we want to get clear on. Simultaneously, if we create no zoning classification specifically for the strategic growth area, it could just be duplicative, because the developers are going to want to pick their own zoning classification. And largely it's going to be R4.
And I think going through the comprehensive planning process gives the community an opportunity to weigh in on this too.
yeah, I think that's just maybe what I would like to see, because I want to be very careful that I understand from the business aspect that it's happening either way, but I think Goddard is a very small blip on this map right now, and I want to be very careful that as we grow, you know, we're talking about what it looks like 10, 15 years from now, that we're not all driving down 54 or MacArthur or wherever, and all we see is military style housing because we made this decision. And so I mean, I get it, it's competitive, but I just hearing from the community, I think it just doesn't sit well with my stomach that.
For me, this strikes like a line that we can message that if it's in the zone, what we're seeing is they're gonna build, it's just a matter of whether it's Wichita or Goddard. So we'd rather have it, even if it doesn't meet our standards, because it's gonna be there either way.
Why?
And you're gonna drive by down there and see it, and you're gonna be mad that Wichita has built it, and Wichita's getting that revenue. And we want a senior center, we want a police department, we want a library.
Water treatment facility.
It's already happening today with Cypress Glen.
But, and it doesn't mean that we have to throw all of the things out. It just means, I think what you're saying is, we're not saying there's no standards there. The
But I think
standards
that's
are still there.
the point. Going back to what we did today, I mean, I think we need to be very mindful of what our surrounding communities and what Wichita is working, like looking at as well. I mean, I think that that's going to make a difference hearing from the community, but to say like, you know, there's potentially a highway that's going to come through and we're going to see it's going to blend on the other side would be great in theory if we didn't already allow everything on both sides. You know what I mean? So.
But like the developer that, I don't remember what the name of it is, but on the west side of 167 that built, and he was like, he didn't like even our restrictions then, and so he built on the west side of 167
Cypress Glen.
Cypress
Cypress
Glen.
Glen.
Because he was like,
That's
we were,
Wichita.
they were
Right, and
easier
I-
to work with.
And I
outside
think we're gonna
because
see a lot of that as
money.
well,
It
which
was
will
money.
benefit us
Money.
long
It
term,
was
but
money.
they're gonna build over in that other area before we see, you know,
Yeah.
some of what we're making changes on.
I think even just not mandating the ratio, but keeping the design standards would be consequential enough to where, I mean, if there's a tract of land that's closer to us and the utilities are closer, and we're not restricting the amount of duplexes, but we still have the design standards, I feel like we still have an advantage.
I'd be okay with that, I just,
I think we're gonna have to do it, like, I feel like the overlay district is a thing, but it doesn't mean that, I don't think what you're saying is like there's no standards in that area. Are you? I don't, oh, it does? Okay.
What Craig is saying is we could keep design standards
To get rid of the,
and get rid of the.
And
let them
40%.
build 100% duplexes.
and there's developers in that part of the region that have said, we agree with design standards, it's the ratio that's a problem for us. So
Okay.
I think you're accommodating that.
Oh, yeah. So
But I think if we had some design standards still, I just don't wanna go back to saying,
Military housing.
yeah, I just,
Yeah, I think
So
you're
we're just
making
throwing out the
a,
ratio.
yes, for the strategic growth zone.
And maybe have
Well, the standards are still there, so they
maybe
will
we'll
have
let them
an
fish out of that amenity. I just
Are we
think,
voting on this?
Are we voting on this today?
No, we're looking for direction if you want us to put it on the planning commission and council agenda starting in August.
let's do that, I just wanna make sure that the community is aware and, I mean, you've done a really good job of making sure that they're heard, so.
Well, yeah, but
Well, I've been
also helping them understand
Correct.
the
Reality.
economic reality for us if we do or don't.
I
do it,
don't,
the
yes,
consequences.
I
of
don't
those.
want them to hear about it the day that we're voting and coming in here upset. I want to make sure that they are fully informed of
Okay.
why we would or would not do this.
Yeah, so we will publish this, if you guys allow us to, we will publish it in the city newspaper. We have to wait 20 days, and then we have to take it to planning commission first, and then to city council for final adoption. And, that's because we'll add it as an overlay district, so you'll see this purple show up. But it's simply, and it'll have certain language in there that says that, the city will look favorably upon development of this particular area, and we'll have to draft it very specifically, with Ryan Peck and Craig and Ryan Track.
It's just like the Northwest Expressway overlay district, you're just putting something on a map that says this is what the intended future use of this land is.
Yeah.
You still have to go through the entitlement process for the zoning.
Is it possible that as as Olson is working through the comprehensive plan with our community, that we add like this to one of their like events where they're talking with the community to get feedback from the community on how they feel about it?
I
With
think,
the idea that they're gonna really explain.
I'm sure there is a part in the process, from what I know about comp plans, where we are talking about future land use vision for different regions of the community and the areas adjacent to us. So, I'm speculating to a degree, but I'm fairly confident that yes, that could happen. We're gonna be talking about where industrial may be appropriate other than where it's already at. I mean, the comp plan is all about land use discussion. So, yeah.
I just thought maybe that might make Amanda feel better if she knew that we were gonna add this conversation into the comprehensive plan when we're talking with the community.
Yeah.
That it could be something that Olson adds into the conversation as you're talking with the comprehensive plan team.
Maybe you're
And
an
the
open house, we can have this printed out
Sure.
on board.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't feel super strongly about a lot of things, but what I do feel strongly about is the fact that we, and very loosely even we, like, you here have worked so hard to gain the community's trust. And I know what we're legally required to do is publish it, but there are so many times that we follow the bare minimum and then our community ends up in this room upset because they are not educated on what is happening. And so this And saying that we're going to allow something like this needs to be a conversation, and I know sometimes that opens a can of worms we don't want to, but if we're going to comfortably allow something like this kinda goes back to laying our heads down at night and feeling confident that we've done our jobs to educate the people of this community on why we would do that.
Amanda, we did start that process last year in August. That was part of, there's the video that Craig sent for us. It's, all of that discussion is happening out in the open in a
And it's
meeting
getting
like
people to
this.
show up as well.
Right. So
Correct.
I'm just saying, we're not we're not hiding anything.
No, I don't think
We're not
that.
trying to keep anything from anyone.
I just wanna be very mindful that this is something that I think we need to be very careful to have more conversations on
Well,
than
I
some
mean-
other things.
I mean, we're having a lot of conversations and I can't go out to the community and force them to watch the videos and force them to come to the meetings. I mean, look, they know when we're having it, it's been publicized, I love our community too. And yeah, we're gonna be out there talking about it when we're out and about. And, you know, I'd love to add it to Olson's, you know, community engagement, activities, cause we've been very transparent about that process. You know, they're out there during the Main Street markets, we could put it up in the hub, you know, because she's gonna put her map up there.
But
And
that's all I'm saying. I think just making sure that these things are out there, and also, I mean, the sad reality is most people are watching Facebook, and I don't think that it would hurt to have an extra post or two
yeah,
about this situation from the city page, like just explaining, if you want more information, this is what it's gonna be, and I understand that opens a.
We'll think about that some and how we may wanna tell that story, cause I think it's part of a bigger picture, and we just wanna make sure we get that messaging right.
I agree.
Each one of you is gonna be intimately involved in the comprehensive planning process, and so it's up to all of us to, whatever our priority is, to make it flesh out during that. We've got a lot of meetings for it coming up in July. There's gonna be public opportunities too that I hope you all are at, where we're having the open houses, and there's gonna be maps, and we're gonna be discussing this exact thing. And when the decisions are ultimately made is gonna be when you're actually going through the process of rezoning the property. This is just casting a vision for that area of the region. It's not even holding you to that to a T, so to speak. So.
Any other comments?
What do you need from us tonight on this? Just a vote on, are we good with?
Allow us to publish it in the city newspaper and
Yeah.
start the process.
We don't need
Make
a,
a motion that the staff is allowed to
Proceed.
post it in the paper.
I second.
I probably said that all myself.
Are we okay with the motion and second?
you okay with that? We're publishing in the Times, so I know this is coming out of the planning commission agenda? Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carries 5-0.
Did everyone vote? Sorry, you just, everyone said yes, sorry. 5-0.
I appreciate your hitting this, that's why I said
I said
5-0.
aye.
Sorry.
I try to be too fair.
I mean, at this point, we're just allowing us to move forward and start.
Yes, you will.
Starting the process.
It'll be published in the paper, and then we'll wait 20 days, take it to the planning commission, they have to vote on it, and then you guys have to ultimately approve it, because it's being added to the subdivision regulations, only as an overlay district first, right, so that's where we're at with that. I don't know if Craig wants to add anything at this point? No.
You sure?
Yes, I'm ready to go get my Taco Bell.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
There's a second, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna say nay, just so it's 4-1 now. Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, guys.